Hello everyone and welcome. I'm going to give all of you a few minutes to go ahead and join the live, and then inshallah I will get started. If you're joining my live, please let me know where you're joining me from and what is one thing that you're enjoying about your day today. You can write it down in the comment. Assalamu alaikum and welcome everyone. Okay, assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome. Today I will be sharing with all of you a very exciting news about my podcast, about my journey so far on Instagram, as well as starting my own podcast on Spotify, and also really helping us to center our intentions going into the month of Ramadan. And so in regards to that, I will be sharing with all of you my journey, and really focusing on the aspect of faith, and how we can strengthen our faith no matter what walk of life we might be in right now, and just remembering some key aspects that might help us to take our belief and our intentions and our faith to the next level. And so I'm going to go ahead and start off by, of course, thanking all of my guest speakers and thanking all of you for your support and for your ongoing love for my Instagram live, for my podcast, for my content on my page here. And I want to let all of you know that I am currently going ahead and taking my certification in fitness and nutrition alongside studying for my paralegal studies. So there is a lot on my plate, but I am able to handle it and juggle it, and I will share with you guys how that is possible. So for all of you joining me, just let me know where you're joining me from in the comments, and if you do have questions, of course you can write them down in the comments and I will answer them at the end, inshallah. So let's go right in, dive right in, and what my reason for being on this platform, what is it, why did I start my platform, what am I willing or trying to achieve with my platform, because I think that is really important for me to reset my intention, but also for all of you as my audience who come and who support me and who watch what I do. And so to start off, it actually started about 2 years ago. The seed for the idea for my podcast and for having an Instagram that I would make public to everyone who can have access to it started about 2 years ago. This year in May it will be 2 years, and really the intention behind it, or what drove me to create it, was the passing away of our dear daughter Hamira. And her passing away just woke us up, or woke me up to the reality of this world and the fact that there's so much more that needs to be done in regards to grief, in regards to having a discourse around grief, in regards to having a positive outlet for people who are going through grief, and people who have gone through grief but now don't really know how to go about their life. Because I was there 2 years ago, my husband was there, our family and loved ones and support system were there with us, and unfortunately there's not a lot of guidance around this subject, especially within our communities, and so that is kind of what started my passion for wanting to create a platform. And then the idea of what helped me to go ahead and create this platform was that what kept me alive or kept me going was my fitness and my nutrition. And so that drove me for my passion to go ahead and get certified in fitness and nutrition training, so that other people who are going through grief are able to approach that aspect of their life in a very wholesome and positive way, alongside of the depression, the anxiety, the not knowing, and the hour by hour pain that comes with going through any form of grief. And so that is a little bit about me and why I want to go ahead and get my certification and coach other women who might be going through, or other men, what we went through when grieving our dear daughter Hamira. And so that is a little bit about me making my platform public for everyone to come and learn from. And now today I'm going to just focus on the aspect of faith, and how faith comes in different shapes, sizes, formats, depending on where you are in your life, and how that helped me propel myself forward, and how it might help you regardless of your religious views, regardless of what you think or how you feel, but the fact that you have like an anchor and something to hold on to. And so I have some notes that I'm going to be looking into, because I want to make sure that it's very clear, that it's very precise. And if you are joining us, let us know where you're joining us in the comments. And so I'm going to go into focusing on how my faith drove me or pushed me forward on my journey through my grief, and it resulting in all the positive work that I'm doing right now. And so what is faith? You know, religion aside, we have faith in other things as well. Like whenever you talk to somebody, whenever you go to coaching or therapy, or talk to other people about things that you care about, you are having faith in that thing. So basically, faith is your complete confidence or trust in that someone, in that something that pushes you to keep going forward. And so where does this come from? You know, where does this faith come from inside of us? It comes from your belief that you can, that you are enough, and that you matter. And so this pushes you to have faith in yourself, to have faith in your vision, and knowing that you got this, that you have faith, that you know when you jump off that cliff that you will fly. That is faith. And so how can we cultivate this faith? We can cultivate this faith by having a firm conviction in ourselves, and knowing that no matter what, no matter how bleak the situation might be, no matter how horrible the situation that we're in right now might be, that there will always be a way out. And I'm sure for a lot of us who are raised in the Western culture, we know all about the cave and the people of the cave, and the fact that they are stuck in this cave, and that there is a way out, and that it's called Plato's allegory of the cave, right? And that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and the only way to get out of this tunnel is to make sure that you have a vision, and that you hold on to your vision, that you are going to get out of this tunnel. And so in getting out of this tunnel, we need help, right? We need, for example, tools. Let's say we were in a physical tunnel. What do we need? We need chisels, hammers, other digging tools, buckets maybe, right? We need all of these physical things to help us dig through the tunnel to come out on the other side. And so these tools physically could be in the form of a bucket, a chisel, a hammer, but what about in the form of spirituality, in the form of something of the unseen, right? In the form of these goals that we might have, because in real life, when we are going through a hardship, we're not going to be using a hammer, right? So the physical hammer, how can we translate that to the spiritual, or to the hammer that we can't see? And what is that hammer or that bucket or that chisel that we can't see? Those things are your conviction in yourself, your belief in yourself, and your belief in your ability to be able to achieve whatever you put your mind to, and whatever you believe your purpose to be. And some of these tools for me, when I was struggling, the physical tools to get out of this tunnel was physical fitness, was the attention that I paid to my nutrition, was my everyday getting up in the morning and making sure that I ate breakfast, making sure that I talked to my mom, making sure that if I didn't feel like doing anything, the least that I would do was make sure that at least I am okay with where I am right now. And what does that mean, that I am okay with where I am right now? That means that you acknowledge the feelings. Assalamu alaikum. You acknowledge the feelings that you have, you acknowledge the emotions that you're living through in that moment, and you let it wash over you. You don't push it away, you don't belittle it, and you don't say that it doesn't matter. What you do is that you take a deep breath and you tell yourself, it's okay. I'm going to accept what I'm feeling right now. I'm going to embrace this emotion that I am having right now. And I might not be able to do anything, but the least that I can do is just listen or let myself feel it. And in that moment, it might seem like it's not much or that you're not getting anywhere, but when a few months or weeks passes in your journey towards healing, you will realize that that moment of you accepting those feelings that you had play such a big role in how you heal and how you move forward in the next stage of your life, whatever that may be. And that comes with this inner acceptance of you wherever you might be on your journey, and knowing that it will take time, but you will get through it, and pacing yourself and knowing that this is a journey and not a race. And so after these tools that you have to help you move through these journeys of your life, the next thing is to stay true to your tools by establishing a routine, by establishing a schedule, by establishing some sort of familiar patterns or behaviors that will help you to handle the same sort of emotion or something else moving forward. And one thing that I have practiced and wasn't that really aware that I was doing it, but now do it consciously, is being mindful. Being mindful of the space that I take up, being mindful of how I check in with myself physically, mentally, emotionally, but then also being mindful of how I let other people's emotions or perceptions of me dictate my relationship with myself. And this is something very, very hard for us to face, but sometimes we are stuck in this negative pattern where we keep going back to the same toxic behaviors or the same toxic people that put us where we are right currently. Or for example, in my case, when our daughter passed away, I had held on to so many of her things, but I had also given away so many of her things to charity. And I remember that every time I felt really sad or really upset, I would go and I still do go and reach out for her blankie and just hold it and just cuddle it or just smell it. At first, I felt like it was destructive to me because I felt like I'm not letting myself heal, but keep on going back to the source of my wound. But now that some time has passed, it has made me realize that her little blankie is actually what gives me comfort and is what gives me hope, that and what makes me realize that she existed, and that there is a time before Hamira in our lives, there's a time during Hamira in our lives, and that there will always be a time in our lives after Hamira. And that validation is what helps me to take a deep breath on some of the most horrible days that I'm having in my life, because I know that with hardship comes ease, and in that moment of hardship we might not believe it, but our faith, so our complete confidence in knowing that we can push through it, is what will keep us going. And so I want all of you to implement one ritual to help you ground yourself when you feel like you're spiraling out of control. So for me, that ritual was making sure that I worked out at least 1 hour a day, or if I didn't go to the gym, that I would take a walk outside, or that I would do any kind of physical activity, even if it's just doing jump rope or dancing to one song or just sitting down and breathing for 5 minutes, that I would have something to help ground me, so that for the rest of the day I had this ability of knowing that I can always go back to that thing that comforted me and that gave me solace. And so you choose what you want to ground you. And if you find that thing and you're able to hold on to it, you will be able to get out of any tunnel that this life throws at you. And lastly, the third point is accepting the fact that certain struggles, pains, trauma, or grief that you go through will always be a part of you. Because embracing it is the only way to move forward. And no, it is not easy, unfortunately, but it will become a part of your fabric, a part of your life, and a part of who you are. And rather than pushing it away, you embracing it will give you the ability to see how you can use that to enrich your life in that moment and to enrich it moving forward. So instead of that particular aspect wreaking havoc in your life, it will become a familiar sort of lull in the background to ensure that you are moving forward in the direction that you have grounded yourself into. And so these three things still are the things that help me in my journey with my grief and in my journey with my life of trying to create this platform, trying to make this a positive space for everybody who has grieved or who needs a space to come and learn and know that there is a positive aspect to life aside your struggles, and that when you have faith, so when you have true conviction in yourself and your ability to be able to move past these hurdles that life throws at you, that yes, it will not be easy, but you can do it. And so with that, I am going to let you guys know now some exciting news about my podcast. So season 3 is coming up. This is actually season 2 episode 10. So season 3 is coming up at the end of this week. Later on, either today or tomorrow, I'll be posting the poster for it, and it will be all about entrepreneurship and women in business and how their role impacts our lives, and how we can go ahead and purchase with intention and purchase with meaning and support those local or international women around us who are building businesses from scratch, but also learn how to build your own business and how to open your own company, how to open your own little shop, how to become an entrepreneur with intention and with faith. And I hope that you all have an amazing Ramadan, which is going to be next week. And if you have any questions about the services that I provide or what I do with my fitness and nutrition coaching, you can always reach out to me. My approach is a wholesome approach to food and nutrition, and alongside that, some training in your ability to ground yourself and to be able to have faith in yourself and your ability to move past any struggles that life throws at you. And so many of my clients have benefited from my program so far, and I'm sure that you will as well. And so with that, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much for coming and listening. And if you have any questions afterwards, you can listen to the live posted and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. So with that, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your support. And I hope that you all have an amazing, amazing week. Take care, everyone.